Okay, this is an example of the submission flow for Europeana 1914-1918. Today this is just going to look at how to submit a story as a general member of the public. So first of all, you could either go to add your story or register and sign in first of all. If you aren't signed in, then add your story would send you to this location. So we go to register and sign in. And you get a screen here which it gives you some reinforcement, so we're glad that you want to add a story. To publish content to the website, we first need to register or sign in. So if you haven't registered already, then you would need to register here, asking for the username and email address. And then the register button. There's no terms and conditions box to check, because if you read here, that by clicking register you agree to these terms of use and these terms of user contributions. So this actually saves clicking on a checkbox. For logging in, you've got your username or email address and the password here. And again, these are fairly standard. The show hide would show or hide your password as you type it in. So for instance, well, let me just show you. So if I did username Dean, password is password. If I were to click on this show button, that would change to a hide, and this would there see plain text of password. I haven't implemented that functionality, this is just a test. But we'll log in. After logging in, you get to add your story. So you'll see straight away that there are 4 steps here. Add a story, add items, review, and optional information. So here you can contribute your story, and it's split into just 2 things, the story title and the story itself. Notice that the next is greyed out, so you can't actually go to the next without filling this in. So story title, we'll call this a story about Horace. Story about Horace. As you can see there, this character count went down as well as you typed. I suggest that there is a limit that's in place here, just to ensure that there's no huge titles. It makes looking after the site much easier. And in the story, we're going to paste in this here already. You notice when I paste that in, this dropped down to say that English was detected. And so this is to save you selecting what the language is. It'd be good to actually check here just to see what the language is being typed in, and then for it to detect it automatically. If there's an override needed, then you can change it here. And so we'll now go to the next page. And so here you've got the add your items part of the journey, and straight away you've moved on to the second stage. Add your items. You can browse, enter the item title and item description. So we're going to add a picture of Horace. So we'll click on the Horace's picture. We'll open that. We're going to call this Horace, and we're going to give it a description. This is a photograph of Horace. You'll notice straight away that this folded down as well to add another item. So let's do that now. We click add another item, browse, and we'll add these letters. So more letters. And you could add the description here. Again, this would keep going on until you added all the items that you needed. So let's click on next. And that's it. So straight away you've got your story. Your story is ready to be published. You've added a story, you've added the items, you're now reviewing it, and you'll notice that you're not quite at 100% because you've got this optional information here. But here is the story. So story about Horace, contributed by myself on the date, and here's the story, and that's it. There's your pictures, and you can navigate between the two. So the problem with the process at the moment is there was lots of fold down boxes and a lot of information wasn't being published or added. And so what you need to promote, or what we need to promote, is adding more information. This is critical here. So what I would do is that I've added this here, but I've also added this functionality here. So when you click on publish, you get a message here. Your story looks great, but perhaps it could be better. Would you like to add more information, or go ahead and publish? If you hit publish, then that's the story's published as is. But again, it's more another reinforcement to add more information. So let's have a look at that. So adding further information. Again, all of the following information is optional. The more you enter, the richer the story. You can publish your stories at any time by pressing the publish link. So let's see, the story begins on this date. You'll notice that this is a fairly smart thing. It's suggesting a date around a time. And so rather than going to 1850 or 2014, it should actually select something that's close to the time of the war. And so we're going to do 14th of December, and I can type in here as well, so 12th of the 2nd, 1930. Choose the keywords. So the keywords: artillery, home front, and this happened in the Western Front. So we can publish here, and that's it, or we can go next. Again, you'll notice that this has gone to 3, and so let's go and see what happens when we click on next. So you'll notice that it's pulled in the two pictures that we uploaded earlier. So who's this story about? This is about Horace Smith. And choose a photograph. If we didn't have the photograph, we can upload another one here. But we'll select that one. Now I haven't implemented this, but when you select it, then that would obviously have a select banner around it, just to show that's the selected image. The date of birth of Horace. Again, smart, so it's going to choose something like 1890. Again, this needs refining, of course, but we'll choose that. And he was born in, I don't know, Preston, Lancashire. You'll notice that this dropped down as well, so as you typed in, then place name selection should come in place here. Date of death, we're going to say that he passed away on... Okay, and he died in France. You can here add another person, so you can keep adding people there, or you can move on. So where did the story take place? You've got a box here where you can type in, which is the same sort of thing as here, and you've got a little map here. You'll notice that this icon here, we can use this in more places. This is for contextual help, and so if I'm unsure about what to do here, I click on this, and it tells you things like auto suggest. So enter the country name, town or address, or a specific address, or the map marker, which you can move around. So we'll put in Paris, France. Again, you would have a drop-down box there with suggestions and the like. And this, of course, would refresh to show Paris, France, and so you could drag your marker around just to give better coordinates. You can also enter geolocation here, and this again is down here. So again, next or publish. We're at stage 2 of 3. We're almost there, so let's see what happens when we go next. So we go next, and you'll see that you've got 2 items here. So we've got this item 1. This isn't working, but this would actually say the name of the image. So this would say Horace, I believe we called it. Item creation date, end date. I'm not sure if these are relevant. I've left them in because they're in the current system. If they're not needed, then they shouldn't be in the system. Same likewise with place of creation and language of item. If this entire area adds no value, then I would actually skip this, and I would do away with it entirely. If it does add value, then obviously keep it in place. But we may want to check and test to see how many people actually fill in this information. I have a gut instinct that this may be irrelevant, certainly in this process. So I'm not going to add too much here. I'll say that this is English. I'm not going to add the dates. And then let's publish. And there you go. This is the story. So it's much richer, and it's pulled in the optional information. You'll notice that I've changed the way that it's laid out. So in the current design, it's just a long list of things. This story is about Horace Smith. He was born on, this is the date, he was born here, blah, blah, blah. And so what I've done is I've tried to bring it in more into a story format. So this story is about Horace Smith, who was born on the 1st of January 1890 in Preston, Lancashire. Horace Smith died on blah, blah, blah. You can actually change this date format to actually read it in a human language. So it could say 14th of February 1913 rather than 1402 1913. The story begins here and took place in Paris, France. Now, all of these things will be clickable. I haven't shown that here. But for instance, Preston, Lancashire, if you want more stories on Preston, Lancashire, you click on that and it would show more stories. Keywords are down here. These will be obviously have better spacing, of course, but these were the keywords that we actually selected. And then yeah, you can edit the story because you just created it, and that's it.